Hello, my friends. I want to talk about diversification. I recently wrote one of those little mini articles posted on LinkedIn, and the title of it was, I just bought a fleet of taxis, and then I realized everybody was taking Uber. Damn it. And folks, I got to tell you, it's a little bit disturbing to watch what's going on inside the imaging channel. A place I've called home for nearly 30 years. We're seeing a lot of acquisitions going on, people buying their growth. And we're forgetting about what happened to Rico just last year. A company that spent 20 years buying growth through acquisitions, built the largest footprint of direct operations of any manufacturer in the business. Last year, what did they do? They had a fire sale and gave it all back to the dealers. They contributed the failure of that model was declining hardware revenue and the profits you could get off it, and of course declining print, which means the decline in the annuity of service. You got to get out. Let's just be a manufacturer. And then recently, as maybe in the last couple of weeks, we see what happened at Global Imaging. Xerox spent nearly $1 billion for Global Imaging. The industry has used the global model for benchmarking. So I got to ask, I think that might change. But look what happened to them. Didn't work. And even after Xerox bought them, they kept buying up more people, adding it to the pie. You cannot buy your growth in a declining deliverable without diversification. All you've done is bought a bigger chunk to fall. And so why are we not diversifying into things like IT security? One of the reasons is I don't believe we truly understand what IT security is, because it's not managed IT services. IT security is its own deliverable. Could we not become experts in certain verticals and go to markets and do IT security assessments and compliance assessments? You're surely not going to do it with a, copier salesman, unless, of course, he's trained in IT security and has a search to go with it. But folks, IT security assessments, they can sell from $15,000 to $100,000, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Why do you think CPA firms are getting into IT security? Well, guess what? They are. Why don't you buy a CPA firm instead of buying another copier dealership? Everything you buy when you buy another copier dealership is in decline. Now, I don't think there's a problem buying customer bases if your plan is to put something else in that customer's office. And I think that was the intention of everyone that's doing this. The problem is, over the last 10 years, we've seen no diversification. Okay, there's a couple of you are going to say, well, we got a $50, $60, $100 million IT business. None of that matters if it's less than 25 or 30% of your core deliverable by this time. And I assure you, I don't think there's any that are that high from the imaging chain. And so if we're going to say we're diversified and we're selling IT services and we're doing these other services, the goal is to get that revenue to pass the old revenue as it declines. And no one in the imaging channel is anywhere close to having a diversified deliverable across their print number. And the problem is we've allowed all this time that we could have been diversifying for others to plan to diversify. And now they're coming. And the problem is a lot of these organizations are sophisticated organizations that have extreme bandwidth and have the capabilities to put on their team extremely, extremely smart people to go into the marketplace and sell IT security services. And I think the industry is going to be shocked when we see who these players are that come into the space. And we see big, huge software companies pivot into IT security. Because folks, at the end of the day, if your deliverable is declining, you have to diversify. You can't just keep buying more of a declining number. That's almost insanity. It almost reminds me of the crisis before the mortgage crisis. Because the mortgage crisis, that was just the result of a prior crisis. And the prior crisis was doing crazy things that made no sense, thinking that it would work out. And I'm almost believing that the imaging channel is in that space. We're doing some crazy things that we hope just might work out. But sooner or later, some of these VC-backed firms are going to realize, I'm not dumping any more money in this because we haven't diversified. I'd rather cash out now. And then the new guy's going to come in and gobble up some of that And the new guy or gal is probably going to have a totally different deliverable than what we're doing today. Because if we believe we can execute our business processes like it's 1980, folks, we're going to be executed by the realities of 2019. I end my time with this. Status quo is the killer of all that will be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo.